Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if that stuff's been left in before or whether it's going to be the end of the podcast. Wherever it is, golden. Just fucking golden. Go to love doing podcasts with your mates. Having a laugh, pre-recording or during recording. It's all good. Anyway, by the way, this is a podcast. This is AEW Mash. Three Scottish guys just talking about AEW for a good wee hour. Glad to see you're all here again to listen, however many that may well be. But we have got a hell of an AEW week to talk about. We had AEW Grand Slam, both Dynamite and Rampage, hailing from the Arthur Ashe Stadium in Queens to a massive and very loud crowd. But first, let me just punt the old podcast to you, ladies and gentlemen. AEW Mash is one of the many podcast parts which, when formed together, make the mega powers that is the Midweek Mashed Tattie Sportscast. You can find us across all social media and on all audio streaming platforms. Want to support the guys? You could buy us a coffee on buymeacoffee.com. It runs the podcast with a wee bit of money, because podcasts cost money to make, obviously, and time. But if you don't want to do that, that's cool. I mean, hey, we're doing this for the love of the game. What would be really, really lovely, though, is if you could tell a friend, or even on the podcast streaming app, just leave us
5 stars, baby! Boom!
Thank you very much. Lads, you're rolling, yeah. You're rolling, yeah. Fred Durst, 2001 or something like that. Mick, Alan, Harvey Smith, Hulk Harvey, the Workhorse Viking. Lads! How are we doing? We've already hit up some MMA patter. We're now on to the madness that is pro wrestling, and Jesus Christ, what a week.
Yeah, keep on rolling, baby.
I have to let you know, though.
Yes.
I have not had the chance to watch Rampage.
That's all right.
Oh, shit.
All of this hurricane fucking...
To be fair, I tell it, you know what? Let's go into that first. Fuck wrestling now. What's happening over there in the Cayman Islands? Because that is much better than sports entertainment booking, as far as excitement
There's a hurricane...
goes. But no better as such.
The hurricane should be hitting in a couple of hours.
Sweet. So you are recording live from the site of a hurricane currently?
Well, aye, pretty much. There's just a lot of preparation need to be done. So
Right.
Friday, Saturday, kind of Thursday too, but mostly Friday, Saturday, work from 7 o'clock in the morning to like 8 o'clock at night, just getting the boats to where they need to be, stripping them down, because obviously I work on the big sailboat.
Oh, of course, aye. So you need all that kind of stuff.
I need to take down the sails and stuff, like 70-foot fucking sail. Like,
sweet, Jesus, man.
Aye. Make sure that you take all the seats off. Need to take out there's just a bunch of stuff you need to do.
Anything that
then
the
on
wind
top,
can pick up.
It's what I'm always
pretty much,
amazed by these Caribbean countries in that where hurricanes are kind of more prevalent, is how well you manage to prep and then tidy up after. Like it's mad to me. Imagine if that was the west of Scotland, we'd all be arguing about it while the wind was picking up. Fuck's sake, look there, the coos going. Like literally, you would the place would be 40 bits while folk are arguing about Rangers or Celtic or something ridiculous. That's what it comes into.
Need to board up all the windies and all.
Like
if you don't have like shatterproof windows, like hurricane-proof windows, like you have to board them up, because what happens is if they break, inside the place just gets destroyed.
Oh, I bet, man.
Wind just comes in and just fucks it up, boy. So you do all that, and then if you're kind of low, the whole Cayman Islands is pretty low.
I suppose not much hills, is there? Aye.
No many
really
mountains in the
The
Cayman
Cayman
Islands.
Mountains don't really exist,
So you can get flooded. Like some of the older houses are literally level with the ground, you know what I mean? Where there's some
Sweet
houses
Jesus.
that are up a wee bit, but so it's all fun and games.
Definitely.
I mean, a couple of I think it was 2 years ago, so like 2 hurricane seasons ago, you sent us a video where you were like wading through like knee-high water because it had flooded after a storm.
That was a tropical depression.
That wasn't even a hurricane.
Wasn't even a storm.
That was a dire hurricane.
That was a storm, but aye. So aye.
That's fucking wild, man.
So shit can get real.
Aye.
Aye. And then, but like as I say, like so as it's approaching, and it starts to hit the island, like they'll shut off the electricity, they'll shut off the water supply as well.
Sweet.
So no running water and stuff.
Couple of stinking
because obviously
days,
it can get contaminated with just contaminated. And then obviously you don't want, and here all the electric lines are on poles here, so it's not like in the UK where you have it running to like a substation and then everything's underground.
Aye.
Here it's
all above.
If you drive along the road, it's all above, just like many of the like South America and stuff. So one of them pops and the electricity's still on. Water. Electricity.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Aye. He's an off and gone, effectively. Fuck.
So as soon as it passes out, the cleanup starts. Obviously, like the electric crews come out and check, see what damage it is before they turn it on and fix what they need to fix. And same with the water.
Fuck. Well, I know how my brother kind of described it as well. He's obviously in Bermuda, like just like. Bermuda's a good bit for you, but they still get that, and he says it's amazing. He says you look at the window after it, the place is covered in shit. You look at 2 hours later and the place is back to normal. He's like, I don't know how hard they boys work so hard, man. They're just so good at it. Like it is like a well-oiled machine. Fucking man.
Everybody just works together and just cleans up.
I suppose you would do. Like you would just go in with. Like I suppose you would have to. Fuck. Aye, but good help us if it happened over here, man. Could have been a great laugh when climate change that's us. Anyway, fuck it. Wrestling though. Hopefully you're alright, man, and nothing goes wrong, man. Fingers crossed. But
we'll be good.
Wrestling patter, lads. Dynamite, Grand Slam, titles on the line all night, 5 matches, every one of them a title match. Couple of big title changes, couple that didn't, and obviously a new AEW World Champion. I think probably the best place to start here as far as title changes goes would be what I would consider the business decision title change, which would be the opening match. Chris Jericho versus Claudio Castagnoli for the Ring of Honor World title. If you were to ask me my honest opinion, is this to sell Ring of Honor to TV? I would say wholeheartedly that is exactly what it is. What did we think about the match? Chris Jericho picking up the win in about 15 minutes.
I thought it was a fun match. I quite enjoyed it. So that but I think there's certain things could be done different, especially if they had a full feud. If they worked like a proper program that built up to it, you know what I mean. There's stuff they could have did different in terms of telling a story. But for what it was, I pretty much enjoyed it. I think it's kind of up there with some of the better matches that Jericho's had in the last kind of 12 months.
I think that's a good point.
Just touching on something that you said there. This actually makes me wonder if the Ring of Honor TV deal is imminent. The fact that they made this move.
I would think that's what's coming now.
It would make sense.
They're keeping the cards close to the chest, certainly when it comes to talking about whether Ring of Honor is going to see TV shortly, but I think it's a pretty obvious decision to get one of your biggest stars as your champion.
Yep.
It's fun how it's also coinciding with probably Chris Jericho's best run of matches in his career for at least the last 5 years as well. Like,
yep.
Absolutely nobody can deny that he has not put on the work he is putting in the ring right now. Jericho is fantastic. I think it's up there, like for anything that he's done over the past 5 years as far as work rate goes in actual wrestling. Like, and that's a good thing for the Ring of Honor World Title. I think Ring of Honor, obviously, it's the lesser brand within AEW. I think you've got to have a more work rate heavy champion. And while that is totally not his style at his age, he's still putting in a lot more work than he's done previously at any stage in his AEW run.
Aye.
I thought he was phenomenal here.
Aye, totally agree.
It was a good match up until the ending sequence.
He seemed to get a wee bit kind of a wee bit kind of clunky at the end. I think maybe Aubrey wasn't in the right kind of position for where she was meant to be.
I don't know. I think the way that Claudio comes in anybody lands on his feet.
Yeah.
He lands to. Yeah, aye. He lands properly when he shouldn't have landed properly, if you get what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
Like, he kind of stuns there and he's like, oh shit, I need to run to the corner kind of thing. But,
it definitely seems to get a wee bit messed, like, aye.
It was as if he expected her to be closer. So he was preparing himself to stop and no totally wipe her out. But she's been that bit further away and he's like, oh, I tripped her.
He's kind of...
So,
He stumbles awkwardly towards the corner. Aye.
Still, the crowd loved it. I mean, as Jericho's in this weird position where it doesn't matter what he does, they're going to love him. Like he's trying to play a heel, but it probably one of the biggest pops of the night was him winning.
Like I knew that it was going to be some dirtiness, and then you could see him working towards it, didn't he? When he tried the low blow earlier on in the fight, and then it was good, man. It was well worked. Yeah, I think it was a good laugh, and as you say, Jericho, the crowd love him.
Aye,
even though they're supposed to hate him, they still love him.
Still absolutely adore him.
He's like, aye.
I get the feeling this is all in aid of building a new star again. This is all by design for Daniel Garcia. I get the feeling that Ring of Honor has too many titles, and long-term plan would be to fuse the Pure and the World title back together, so that you have the TV title and you have the World title, and it's the spirit of Ring of Honor that Daniel Garcia is going to eventually rise up and defend against his sports entertainment mentor. Obviously, that was teased on the Dynamite way, Garcia trying to speak to him. I think this is what this is all about. It is geared towards making a top level star of Daniel Garcia. Which a few months ago I didn't think possible, because I thought, well, he's just a really good worker. Don't know about him as much with the character, but I'm quite all for this now, as far as how he is out of ring as well as in the ring with Daniel Garcia. There's definitely huge potential there with the boy. I can't wait. Hopefully that's the way they go with it.
I'm not sure. I'm not sold on the idea of fusing the two titles together, I've got to say, but it's an interesting idea.
That's what they done before, though, I'm sure, wasn't it? With the Pure title way, and it was Danielson, I'm sure.
Aye.
Like, and that's Garcia's big hero.
The thing with doing it then and the thing with doing it now is that it makes sense with the story. I don't know if it's in the best interest in terms of the promotion and the kind of history of the promotion and the fans. But the story they're building there between sort of a mentor and mentee and Jericho and Garcia, like, it makes a certain amount of sense, especially with the blending of the sports entertainer versus wrestler, and like it would be quite a nice way to kind of bring all that together to a finish. Aye. If the sort of final act to that story was like, smashed the mic, was bringing it together, like in reality as well as the story, in terms of putting the titles together. And it's like Jericho's now saying he's the Ocho. The BBC. What's the fucking thing he's saying? Best wrestler ever. No, BC BB. That's it. Best sports entertainer ever. Best wrestler ever. BC BB. So it's that versus Pure Rules champion versus the guy that's like legit worker, proper Pure Rules wrestler, and then melting all that together. So the more I think about it, the more I'm interested in it.
Possibly. Possibly. Some way to start the show. Obviously, we get finally what the crowd wanted with the Acclaimed beating Swerve in Our Glory. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you right now, lads, I didn't enjoy this nearly as much as the the All Out match. I thought this was a lot poorer. However, the crowd loved it.
Yeah.
I think for me though, the team that's way over, I mean, they're over like fucking Rover, man. The noise when the Acclaimed came out, man, was epic.
Yep.
Daddy Ass getting the win for them though, I don't think that's a good thing. I didn't like that.
The booking of the match, the structure of the match, it didn't have Acclaimed looking as strong as they did as in their loss in the previous match. They somehow looked stronger in that previous match losing than they do winning here.
They genuinely looked weaker. They looked a lot weaker. It was a weird match. There seemed to be a botch kind of 10 minutes into the match though with Max Caster where I think he goes up for a mic drop, elbow drop and slips. And then for some reason he thinks, fuck, I better sell my knee, and sells his knee, and the atmosphere just collapses out of the building because everybody goes, oh fuck, he's legit injured.
Aye.
And it totally kills the vibe. Like,
it was really weird. I wish I had a better camera angle on it to see what happened when he was on the top rope.
Because AEW hide it.
You see him climbing.
Aye.
You see him climbing, and then you see him coming down, but you don't see him leaving the rope.
Aye.
It cuts away. So I am curious to know what, like, was it deliberate? Was it no? Did he slip or lose his balance? Like, what's happened there?
What's been on there?
The thing for the kind of biggest note I made on it was that it was the right decision to have them win, but I didn't like the finish of the match.
Aye.
In part, it was like the way it sort of transpired with the daddy ass thing and stuff, but then it was also because Max had spent a good portion of the match selling the knee. And then at the finish of the match, he then runs towards the corner, jumps the top rope, quickly climbs the ropes, and then hits the mic drop.
It's the kind of classic Seth Rollins knee sell, isn't it, man? It's a sell knee until it needs to fuck off, which is one thing.
But then, post match, like as soon as the hands are raised, he's back to limping. Like, come on, man. The jig's up.
It's no. Like I said, I mean, I said a few weeks ago, we All Out, that was my favourite match of the night by a mile, the tag match, and it way exceeded expectations. I thought it was pretty much impossible to reach the expectations, and sadly they proved that. But that being said, new tag team champions, AEW's proof that the AEW dark system works, and that they've taken in young wrestlers, gave them a direction, let them build their character up slowly through dark to dark elevation to Rampage to Dynamite to champions. So they are the standard bearer of Tony Khan's system, effectively, of look at this, we can build stars slowly but surely. Like
they are AEW developed talent.
They are probably the best example of AEW developed. It's not like where the likes of MJF and Jungle Boy Jack Perry and Darby, like they were all wrestlers in independent kind of companies, minor companies, albeit the likes of MLW with MJF and with Darby Allin. Obviously, I think it was Evolve that he could have did some matches in, I'm sure, wasn't it? I think it was Evolve, aye. But these are the true developmental talent success story for AEW. Mm-hmm. So it's a good image for them, for their tag division.
Yep, absolutely.
It's a very good image for them. We have got a load to cover here, so I'm just want to fire straight on to the next big title change here, lads, which was for the AEW World Title, and this was Bryan Danielson versus Jon Moxley. One word answer, lads. Correct call or not? Jon Moxley wins via submission.
I'm going to say yes, correct call. I know you said one word. There's never.
Sorry. No,
yes, on the assumption that it's not going to be a long reign.
Right. Okay.
I think if you go Danielson, you don't want to hurt him by having him drop the title too soon. Sorry, I can't stop saying.
Sorry, can't get one fucking word done. Right, go on, Harvey. Yes or no? And then we'll come back to what you're saying, Mick. See, he's got too many words. This one's got none.
No.
It's just a noise.
I think. Well, you see, this is the problem. I'm going to say it. No, because I think that you could have had a really good feud with Danielson and MJF.
Right. So you're wanting to see Danielson
And MJF have a feud.
I mean, that's a first time ever sort of thing as well. Like that is a very first time ever sort of feud. Okay, right, Michael, come on in with your science, fella. Come on in. I cut you off mid-sentence effectively.
That's all right. I think that Mox, this now being effectively his third reign, I mean, fourth if you want to count the interim title, but realistically it's his third reign as champ. He's the workhorse of the company, the heart, the bleeding heart of the company. So I don't think it hurts him to have him only hold the belt for 6 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever it's going to be, and then dropping the belt to MJF, especially if there's fuckery afoot with the firm. All my brain could say it was the Fiend for some reason.
Fiend.
I knew it was an F, but
that would be a serious shock, by the way.
Aye. So if the firm get involved, create a situation where MJF wins the title, then I don't think that hurts Mox long term, and I think you'll get a really fun program out of them, multiple matches. I can see that working well. I think if you go Danielson, then he's going to be his first reign. It needs to really mean something. I think it would be meaningful for him to beat Mox to win the belt for the first time. So that's something. But then I think putting the belt on Danielson, you want to be going heavy into him as a babyface. Build him up as the underdog again. No to the degree that when he won his first title in WWE, when he was he was like supposedly only there because the viewers kind of willed it to be. They wouldn't stop the yes chants and all that. No to that degree, but I think you probably want to push him as the top babyface in the company. So I think like him versus the likes of Kenny Omega for the title with Danielson getting the win would be mega. That would be insane.
Cool,
especially if Kenny's going heavy heel again at some point. So I think it's well, I think it's right to save that for the time being, and it means that. But again, working under the assumption that MJF is going to be the champion in the not too distant future.
I think that was plainly obvious throughout this match how much camera time MJF got to the point where it was distracting from the match. Like I felt like it helped the match a wee bit. The amount of split screen to MJF, reaction from MJF, constant cuts to MJF. Like it was a tad disrespectful just about to me. Like you've got these two guys in there, and they had a very hard hitting style of pro wrestling match. They went for, what did they do in New Japan 20 years ago or All Japan, where they kick the shit out of one another? Let's do that, lads. Like that's clearly what the meeting went before the match. Have you ever seen the 4 pillars in All Japan? Aye, right, let's do that. And and they've no lumps out of one another for a solid 20 odd minutes. Like, just if you constantly looking at MJF's kind of smirking and kind of grimacing and rolling his eyes and all that. Like, I get with their I get obviously they want to kind of place MJF as this big looming threat with his poker chip and all that. Fair enough. I don't know if that exactly was the time and place for that kind of thing in this match. Fair play to both guys though, and I think the overlying moral here of the story is the two guys who have basically held AEW together over the past 3 weeks are now both the world champions. Obviously, John Moxley, AEW world champion.
Right, so AEW and Ring of Honor.
Aye. I mean, world champions within AEW, like Ring of Honor world champion. The AEW. I know I didn't finesse that. Forgiven for not quite getting where I was going with that. But it's it definitely feels like you guys have guided us through very choppy waters. You rode this. Like Moxley was meant to be having 6 weeks off of work after All Out.
Yep.
He's not missed an episode of TV since then. And now that he's world champion, he's not going to miss any TV again. Like, he's going to be sticking about for a long time. Interesting going forward where we go. Right. Women's 4-way match. This was for the AEW Women's World Champion. Britt Baker, Toni Storm, Athena, Serena Deeb. Toni Storm obviously wins to retain her interim women's title. Very good match, I've got to say. I've very much enjoyed it. Poor Britt Baker, as usual. Anytime there's a horrible bump to be taken, she seems to be in the wrong side of it, man. That looked like another broken nose for her. What I love about Britt is how every time it happens, she just owns it. She's just like, aye. Fuck it. And there's white in her blood everywhere, over everybody, whether they like that or not. It's incredible. But obviously, post-match would be the biggest kind of talking point for this match.
Aye.
Going into the post-match angle, obviously there was the beatdown. Jamie Hayter comes down. You think, oh, good. They're going to pull the trigger in this. And then
they shit the bed.
And then they didn't. And then Jamie did the whole "that's my friend" thing.
That's my friend.
So you had that kind of disappointment, but then that kind of dragged on. And as I was watching it, I thought, there's a debut coming here. And then I'm racking my brain in the 20 seconds thinking, but who's even free? There's nobody free. Either is. Paige from WWE's free. Saraya.
Well, she's not
Saraya.
Paige anymore.
Oh, she's definitely not Paige. She's Saraya.
Paul.
Saraya.
I can't help your names. It's Saraya.
Saraya. Tell me, Saraya. I know my ID.
So this is what I wanted to ask you, Paul.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you, well, number one, are you excited about it?
I would say yes.
And then, what does her signing mean for the women's division? Like, does it change anything in terms of, like, is there going to be more thought in put into all these bookings and shit, or what?
I think as far as profile goes, within wrestling, Saraya has a higher profile than anybody currently signed with AEW. So one thing I would probably say to me is guaranteed more TV time for the women's roster. Like, you're now going to see more women's segments on the show. And if that doesn't happen, I would be flabbergasted, because she will not come cheap. Like,
no,
she will not have came cheap at all. They will have offered her a hell of a lot of money to sign with AEW. Like, she's obviously, she wasn't happy with WWE, but you better believe that the new management system would have probably had a lot of interest if there was any hope of getting her back in a wrestling ring. They would have been investigating it. Fuck, they made a film. They literally co-funded a film about her. Like, fighting with my family, bloody Vince Vaughn, Nick Frost and all that in it. Florence Pugh, it's Florence Pugh, isn't it? The girl for...
Think so.
She's in bloody everything now, effectively. Like, she's famous for being in everything. But they went to that length to big up the story about this lassie. Obviously, there's other sort of more negative kind of news connotations with where obviously we her ex-husband Alberto Del Rio, and I mean, you don't know what else went on in her kind of personal life. We don't even mention that. We don't even mention that too much. But she is massively famous as a female wrestler. So I hope that this is a change as far as booking the women's division.
This will be the catalyst.
She could make a difference just through profile alone. She doesn't even need to work that much if she is even cleared. I mean, that's the kind of guesswork everybody's doing now. Is Paige cleared to wrestle? I would assume that they've signed her with the knowledge that she is cleared to wrestle. I mean, Dave Meltzer, I know, has reported that she isn't in fact cleared. Saraya herself has tweeted not to listen to anybody on the dirt sheets and that she'll be there on Wednesday. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. It's definitely got people talking about the women's division, certainly, because she is a massive star.
So a couple of things, right? One, my initial thought was great, because as Paul alluded to there, this means that Tony Khan has no been shy about putting money into the women's division. So that means that he's prepared to put the work in to book them right. For whatever reason, he's not done it yet. But if he's bringing Saraya in, then you best believe that there's some work about to get put into them. The second thing is, I was going to mention that, so Saraya has been active on Twitter for the last 3-4 months since it was announced that her deal was coming to an end with WWE. So she was open about the fact that her deal was coming to an end and she wasn't re-signing. And she had been pretty clear that she had really positive talks with AEW as well. So I was pretty certain she was coming. No idea when, so I wasn't expecting to see her when she popped up. But I was fairly confident that she was coming to AEW at some point, even despite the fact that, you know, it was obviously the regime change at WWE. But she has spoke, again, pretty openly about how she is confident that she will be back in ring. She's no said in black, she's not put it in black and white that she is 100% medically cleared. You know what I mean? She's no said she's got the box ticked that allows her to get back in the ring and compete. But she's spoke about positive meetings with doctors and how she's confident that she's going to be cleared and she'll be back in ring. So I've got to assume that when she's getting that big a debut, that if she's no cleared at this moment in time, it's pretty obvious that she will be in the very near future. So I would be shocked if she's signed purely as, I mean, what would you call it, like a valet or a manager or you know, whatever term you want to insert. I would be surprised if she's been signed purely as a mouthpiece. She's more than certainly she's been signed as in-ring talent. If she can get back in anywhere close to the shape she was in WWE and the big run that she had there, like with the program she worked with AJ Mendez and stuff like that, she will be phenomenal for that division. I don't know if there's a better talker in women's wrestling than Saraya. She is really good on the mic. She's very convincing with her character work. She's a massive get for AEW, especially if she's going to be in-ring talent. So it is a big, big deal. However, I mentioned the phrase wet fart to you guys when giving you my thought in the group chat, and I gave you my thoughts on Dynamite. That was a kind of multifaceted summation for me. There was the Chris Jericho I'm going to say Cesaro, Claudio match, and then so great match and everything else, but then all they did with Daniel Garcia was have him make a very quick appearance and then they moved on. They didn't get time. Obviously then as the weekend went on, they did the backstage celebration type deal
on Rampage,
on Rampage. So they gave that wee bit extra I was looking for, but they didn't have it on Dynamite, and I was looking for it in Dynamite, so I was let down. But main event, as you're talking about, Paul, they detracted for the match by constantly going to MJF, and then nothing happens. So the whole time I'm watching that match, I'm enjoying the match, but I'm waiting for something to happen. I'm waiting to see the firm, because they keep showing us MJF. They keep talking about the bloody chip, and nothing happens, nothing comes out. So again, I'm taken away from my enjoyment of the match because of my expectations. And I mean, that's pro wrestling.
Do you really expect them to come out?
Because of the amount of work they were doing, constantly cutting to MJF and all the rest of it, and like there was the segment where Wheeler Yutta's supposed to be getting an interview on stage.
Can we just talk about the minute Wheeler Yuta starts beating him down, and it looks as if they're sliding down the ramp because of that because of the bloody. That was hilarious. Accidentally, because you can just see that it looks like they're just slowly moving in, but it's not. It's because of the road underneath their feet.
There's
hilarious.
That, right? There's that, and then the final thing is the whole sort of women's match and everything else. Like Athena, the final third of that match, Athena looked phenomenal. She looked like she should be in that match, and she should be in talks of winning that match. But when you think about it, she shouldn't have been in the match because she very recently lost to Jade Cargill for the lesser title. Why is she in that match? Makes no sense. But that aside, post-match, you then have the Saraya angle. Well, you have the Jamie Hayter, Britt Baker, etc. angle. Then you have Saraya comes out. So, I don't know if you know, well, you probably know this, right? But Jamie Hayter and Saraya have a lot of history together. They worked together in England a lot.
They did, She's from the same area. She's from Norwich as well.
They are good friends. They are very good friends outside of wrestling.
Aye.
They could have went a couple of different ways here. They could have had
For sure.
Jamie Hayter affirms her heel status. She's siding with Britt Baker. Saraya comes out and she puts hands on Jamie Hayter. They could have had Jamie Hayter making out that she's siding with Britt Baker. Then Saraya comes out, and then actually Jamie Hayter's now brought in Saraya. She's, you know what I mean, like have it be like she's reached out to Saraya and told her to come over, and now that's the tag team, like they two, and they're going to take on Britt Baker and who's my favourite that we always talk about?
Serena.
Deeb. Aye.
Serena.
Oh, Serena.
Serena.
Like that, so it could be like, you know, tag team match there. That would be gold. They could also work it so that it's, you know, it's Saraya down the line. It's Saraya versus Jamie Hayter for the title. That would be a phenomenal feud. You get great matches with them. So basically, there's so much that they could do and still might do, but they gave us nothing on the night, and that was so disappointing and frustrating. You've got this massive debut, and they don't even put a mic in her hand. That to me was just a letdown. It was like a great moment. She got an amazing pop, and then they did nothing with it. That's the wet fart.
I get what you're saying.
I kind of get where you're coming from. Like, we're not letting her
What
talk.
would you hope happens? That's 2 years.
For me, I want Jamie Hayter and Saraya versus everybody else. Like I want them as the is like kind of tweeners. You know what I mean? Like everybody's rooting for them, but they're being a bit naughty or whatever other words you want to use. You know what I mean?
Well,
like
Jamie Hayter's definitely got that energy already. There's
so how would
massive love.
How would you get the two of them together then? No, like.
Well, I tell you what, they've started a wee bit because they've been tweeting at each other. They're laying some groundwork for there. Saraya tweeted hi to Jamie Hayter, and then Jamie Hayter replied, what was it? Hey, ... something. I can't remember what she said. But it's kind of like that they're already like, they're acting as if like they don't know where their alliances sit, sort of thing. You know what I mean? It's this kind of fourth wall breaking type deal, which I quite like. So I would love for the two of them to ultimately wind up together. I think it's time to pull the trigger on Jamie Hayter, put some gold in her, pull her away from Britt Baker, and have Saraya be the backup, as it were. Let her, especially looking at her, she's knowing the shape that she used to be in. Doesn't mean she can't go in ring, but she's knowing the shape that she once was, like aesthetically speaking. Like she doesn't look the same. She looks like she's put some weight on and stuff, and I'm no bagging on her for that, but my assumption would be that if she's ready to, in terms of, in the medical sense, if she's ready to compete in ring, she might not be in a physical sense. She might have some gym work to do to get herself ready.
I think
so. Therefore,
reps
she would
in
be
ring's a totally different thing as well, fitness wise.
So therefore, it would be great to have her on the mic, really bigging up Jamie Hayter. Like, not that Jamie Hayter's bad on the mic, but Saraya's like next level. So she would be great teaming up with Hayter and have Hayter be the focus, put the gold on her. You get a great feud out of Hayter versus Baker, with Saraya winding up Baker at every turn. Like, it would be really good. So that's the route I would go.
Fun fact as well, Jamie Hayter's shoot name is Paige.
I did not know that. That's cool.
Isn't that funny?
That's hilarious.
Oh, Christ.
I wonder
Ram,
if-
she messaged back, hey, mate.
Question mark.
Question mark.
Aye,
with
right,
a
aye,
smile,
there you go.
a grinning face.
Aye, see.
So
Well,
they're teasing.
we'll see what that kind of goes. We'll quickly move on to Rampage, since we do have a 2-hour Rampage to talk on as well.
Oh,
I'm not really
2
going to
hours.
go itemised with this though, like I have done with Dynamite. I think just simply to state, lads, that this was the most, obviously Harvey, you haven't really kind of had the chance to catch up on it minute by minute, but I'm sure you'll have seen enough of it
No, I've seen
via YouTube. Aye, but it's very much the most sports entertainment-y episode of AEW TV I think I've ever seen. Like, it was gimmicks, crazy stuff, funny stuff, mad stuff everywhere, man. First thing though, lads, I think I'd like you all to join me in here is round of applause for Action Bronson, man.
Oh, I did see that,
you
man.
up,
Holy
man.
shit. That was, I'll definitely give him a clap for that.
Tasty wrestling, mate. That was beautiful. Absolutely well done.
Aye.
Didn't do much, but what he did was great fun. And for the first time ever, I've seen an entrance music for a wrestler be good. It actually worked. I could hear what he was saying. He did it exactly like the entrance music.
Rapping for the walkout.
Aye, rap. Doing the rap for Chairman's Intent and the way down to the ring with hooking him. Spectacular, man. Spectacular.
I kind of wish he didn't, but he did it right.
Aye, that's... Mate, see when I saw him with the microphone, I went, oh, fuck, here we go again. But then I was pleasantly surprised. For the first time in God knows how long, I've watched an entrance be done actually quite well live. Fair play. I'm glad it was Action Bronson, because having done more sort of research on this man, what a guy he is, man.
He's a legend, I'm telling you, man.
Aye, like
Absolute legend. I'm a big fan of him. Aye.
Genuinely is. And he lived his fucking pro wrestling dream.
I would urge everybody listening to go to the MMA Hour, Ariel Hawani's YouTube show. I believe there's a podcast version as well. Go and check that out for last week. You had MJF as the first guest, bigging up Grand Slam. He was tremendous. I don't think anybody does a better interview for the pro wrestling world than him.
No,
and
he's the best.
He was followed up by Action Bronson. And Action Bronson and Ariel Hawani have a lot of kind of history together. And that was a phenomenal interview as well. Action Bronson's a guy who he's a massive MMA fan. He goes to a lot of the UFC events and all the rest of it. But he's also a lifelong wrestling fan, and he's known Taz and Hook for years, and that's why this is all came about.
That's why he used the
Hook growing up was a big fan of Action Bronson as a rapper. He turned Taz onto him. Taz did a radio show at the time, so Taz reached out and had Action Bronson on as a guest. They became pals. There you go. History was made.
I know, man. And it's just a bit too cool to be in pro wrestling. Like, usually pro wrestling's, it's quite fun and it's quite cool, but usually the kind of pop culture tie-ins are naff as fuck. This is the coolest thing in wrestling, and it has been since Hook started wrestling. They are the coolest thing in wrestling, and again, couldn't have had a safer pair of hands to guide them through it with 2.0 with Matt Menard and Andrew Parker.
They're
Perfect.
phenomenal, man.
Just a safe pair of hands, man. Like, they will forever be underrated because they're a mid-card tag team, effectively, as part of a faction, but they did their part.
They're like a tag team version of QT Marshall.
That's a fucking excellent description. Yes. Except I can be bothered looking at them for more than 5 minutes. QT Marshall is me reaching for the volume. I'll just watch it. Daddy Magic, what a guy. They fucking mad eyes. Yep. Incredible. Other things in Rampage though, we had Diamante, obviously, with a much maligned match as far as I was concerned, versus Jade Cargill.
I thought that was a better match than Jade Athena.
Fucking hell, there's a statement. But again, it's Diamante. Diamante is
Oh, there was no need for it.
fucking phenomenal. And but no, what I'm saying is, she's
She's
phenomenal in
you
ring.
shouldn't be surprised because she's really good.
No, it's it really shouldn't be a shock because she is tight in ring. Like she's probably one of the best workers in the women's division. Just stuck on that kind of dark cycle, effectively.
They've been slowly bigging her up.
Aye,
So slowly bringing her own, so they have. But
it'd be nice to see more of her. Obviously, who was it that was our corner woman? Was it Trina? Is her name?
Oh, right. I put a note for
Trina.
that. Hold on. Where's my notes on
There was a few
Rampage?
people on
Let's see
this that made me just
Yeah,
accept that
Trina.
I'm too old now. Effectively,
Right, here's my note, right? Meh, but I think this was better than our match with Athena, right? That was my initial
Right.
note. Then post-match was absolute shite. I've no idea who Trina is.
I think that's on us and no on Trina though. I've got to say, like,
I've got zero clue who that woman is or why she was in the ring.
I mean, I don't know who Trina is either, mate. I'm not going to lie, but for the West of Scotland, with my 500 Facebook friends, I don't think I get a say when Trina has 4 million Instagram followers. Like,
What?
I don't think she'll be bothered. Like, I don't think it'll hurt her.
Aye.
Oh, she's massive. Massive. Same with the two guys that came out during the tag match. Was it
the
Woo Kid and
DJ
was
Woo
it Fabulous
Kid
as
and-
well or whatever?
Aye. No idea who they are either, but
Monster followings online. Like, I think the Woo Kid fella was famous for recording albums or something like that, wasn't he? I mean, again, I'm not who they're targeting there, mate. So I'm cool with it.
aye.
It's all
That's
right.
what it is.
Doesn't hurt my feelings.
The
if
thing
these folk come
for
out.
me though that so it's all well and good having somebody make an appearance, right? Action Bronson's a great example. Well, maybe no, because I ken who he is and I was a fan before he was ever in AEW, so maybe he's not the best example, right? But that aside, like it's taking somebody who's going to draw some eyes and make some headlines, but then their involvement in the product and what they're doing is actually really good. In this case, you've got a woman that she's famous for whatever she's famous for. She's got a following. She's brought some eyes in, made some headlines, but then ultimately what she did was shite. She got in the ring, did some terrible acting, and we're no further along with anything that was going on. She sided with Jade, but like it meant, I mean, maybe if you ken who she is and what she's about, maybe that would mean something. The fact that she sided with Jade, I don't know, but certainly to somebody that's kind of none the wiser in who she is and stuff, like her appearance did absolutely nothing for me.
I think again,
She's really big in America.
She's
that's the whole
massive
point.
in
Like,
America.
I'm pretty sure she's a rapper.
Aye, I think that's what it is, mate. But
Right.
4.6 million Instagram followers. She's putting up AEW on her Instagram. A couple of in fact 3 posts with her being there with Jade Cargill. Huge amount of eyes now looking at Jade Cargill again, which is exactly what they want.
I get the feeling like some of what they're doing recently with Jade is like they're almost trying to force her, like they're trying to get her over in a kind of what's the phrase?
They're trying to attract a
trying to make
casual
her
fan with Jade.
They're trying to make her a star, but there's a phrase I'm reaching for and I can't quite find it. But they're trying to make her like a kind of household name type deal. You know what I mean? They're trying to get her over as more outside of wrestling. But I don't know. You'd have to be in America to know how that's going, I suppose. But
I mean, you look at Jade's bloody Instagram, and you've got folk like Vanessa Hudgens commenting on her posts and all that. I mean, that's her for bloody. She's a fucking famous actress. She's one I know at least.
oh, the High School Musical.
High School Musical lassie, aye, like.
I was thinking to myself, I know that name. Come on, you can this shit.
I know, man. Aye, we're showing our fucking age. But I think we're wrestling for you to succeed as a massive multinational company. You have got to think about casual fans as well as die-hard fans. And AEW, for better or for worse, tend to play to the diehards more. Like it's like a secret boys club just about at times. AEW, like they're really patting themselves on the back that wrestling fans, proper wrestling fans, love their product without any concern for whether somebody flicking the channel just goes, oh, wrestling.
Aye.
And they see two wee white guys with beards and bloody short back and sides doing holds with one another, like, and they think, fuck that. Whereas if they turn the channel and there's this goddess of a lassie lifting another lassie up, they think, oh, hey, hold on a minute here. Especially if there's these kind of pop culture kind of folks that are standing next to her, looking like a goddess, lifting another lassie above her head, like. For a business standpoint, I get why Jade Cargill is massively important to AEW.
Mm-hmm. Oh, aye, definitely. I just wish they would book her in a way that made me interested.
Aye, that it'd be nice if they could do that and better.
The problem is though that they've got to hub is that they've built her up into this like badass that can't be beaten by anybody. Like they're going to have a problem getting somebody who can actually beat her.
So whoever beats her,
they've created a Goldberg.
Like,
it's the Goldberg situation for WCW, and WCW made an arse of that. They had them get beat too soon, and it didn't go over well with the fans. They didn't do it right, because they built it up so much, and that's AEW's on the precipice of that. They're getting to the point where if they have anybody beat Jade, they better do it right. Just that's almost
they're going to have to.
You know what I mean?
I don't think they will, though, man. I don't think they will.
No, I think they're going for 50-0. That's my thing.
I think they'll go beyond. I genuinely don't think 50's enough. No, I mean it's enough for me, but I don't think it's enough for them.
I suspect 50 is the magic number.
Possibly.
I don't think that they can, because she's not active enough. If they had her on dark every week, then they could chase the Goldberg streak. Because Goldberg streak was in the hundreds. It was
and that was including touring matches as well as telly matches.
So Jade's no go to that. So then the only other kind of meaningful number then would be 50, because that comes for like boxing and stuff. That transcends the sports. So like Floyd Mayweather's magical 50 record.
Oh,
you know
true.
I mean?
It's not really a magical record, is it? He's a shite bag. He'd never fought anybody.
I'm talking Joe Public marketing pish. Like, you know what I mean?
It's exactly it. Casual fan.
Sorry for my
50-0 to Joe
Harvey's
Public.
In there with the steel chair.
To your average American, that's a number that's going to mean something. I think that's what they're chasing. So I think she gets to 50.
I get you.
Then she goes into a programme that will eventually see her lose.
Aye. I think you could be onto something there, certainly.
But at the fucking frequency that she wrestles, and she's at what, 35 or so?
Oh no, it's higher than 35 now, isn't it? Surely it is.
It's mid-30s, I'm sure.
Is it really? Christ,
35, 36, something like that. 37 at a push. So, basically, she's well into next year at the frequency that she wrestles.
Interesting. What about Great Muta, by the way?
Oh,
that was random as fuck, wasn't it?
I have not lost my shit at wrestling to that level in a long time. That was, for me, that was like CM Punk levels.
Great Muta.
See, Great Muta, like, for anybody that doesn't know, man, go back and watch fucking anything for like the late 90s, early 2000s. But like mid to late 90s, well, actually, no, the full 90s, and like WCW and stuff like that.
He was the man.
Great Muta was he made no sense. He was, see some of the stuff that like Will Ospreay and guys like that do. Great Muta was doing it, like backflips flying over the top rope out the ring and stuff. Like Great Muta was so far ahead of his time. He was absolutely amazing through. He'd kind of toured through the American promotions, and then like he was a long time in. Was it All Japan? He was with for a while, and then he was Noah.
All Japan and New Japan and Noah.
New Japan as well.
He's been everywhere, man.
But so like that guy is like an absolute pillar of modern pro wrestling. Some of the stuff that he was doing is because it was guys like him, and then like Tiger Mask, Yushin Thunder Liger. Who else did you have back then? There was another one in the Masked guys. I can't think now. But there was a few guys that worked for a lot of the Japanese companies. They worked for WCW and some other kind of North American companies, and like they changed the game, man, when it comes to sort of the modern style. So, to see Muta popping up like that was next level. And obviously, like something that the commentator spoke about was how Muta and Sting had a great rivalry, kind of mid-90s.
Some of their WCW matches were incredible, by the way. You've got a few of them on YouTube. They were fucking excellent together.
So, that was very cool, man. Very cool.
What wasn't cool was Julia Hart's table bump, though.
No. That was
sweet.
That was no so good.
I seen that.
God, man. She missed that table by a mile.
Her arse hit it, and that was it.
The kind of curvy her arse caught the edge.
She is very lucky that the table broke and her arse went through it, because if the table didn't break, it would have made her flip onto her head and neck.
Oh, good, man.
Because of the way she hit that, if it didn't snap, then she wouldn't have hit it in a way that it would have broke, where it would have done his tip, and it would have made things 10 times worse.
Oh, God,
so
man.
she's lucky that she went through it the way she did and landed pretty flat.
And our wee hat would have took a doing too.
The hat went flying.
That was gone. That sucked, man.
The spot of her on the back of Sting with the Undertaker hat on was great, man. Like Sting's rampaging about the stage, and she's hanging out the back of him.
Was like the Undertaker, prime Undertaker, six-limbed Undertaker.
It was great, man.
Just quickly before we go, what about the Battle Royale as well?
Clusterfuck.
Just nonsense, wasn't it? Pure nonsense all the way through.
It's like
they've
decided, right, lads, we've no got time to do individual entrances here, right? So what we'll do is we'll just send some of these out, start a wee fight, and then everybody else just go for it. Just bail in. It's fine.
I kind of liked the ridiculousness though. I'm not going to lie. The utter stupidity appealed to me. It was that kind of episode that it sort of fitted to have this stupid version of a Battle Royale.
They go away with it purely because of the type of episode that they put together. Any other week, that would have been like, nah. Nah.
It would have been
AEW's
torn
lost
apart.
The plot here.
Aye. It would have been torn apart as if. And what is wee Tony on the coke again? Like,
I don't know if it was just like my sort of impression for like where I was at and my watching it and the place in the week and being knackered and whatever. But it felt like it went from nothing to 100 really fast, with everybody just bailing into the ring. And then it went from 100 back down to nothing really fast as well with the eliminations. Like there was a couple of eliminations, and then all of a sudden we're down to the last two. But anywhere.
It was just ridiculous.
Crazy much.
It was absolute. Dalton Castle was in there. I mean, I was like, what the fuck's Dalton Castle in? That was one of my favourite bits, was the boys catching him.
Carried on.
I'm just getting paraded about quite happily. It was nonsense.
It was pure sports entertainment. That's what it was.
It was. That would be the description of the whole episode, was sports entertainment, basically. Just silly chaos from start to finish. Probably not the best idea when you had such an important Dynamite on the Wednesday.
And Hangman, by the way, just at the last thing in the Battle Royale, he nearly buggered up the end and he just about fell out the ring.
Oh, I know, man. I was so close, by the way, to that all going completely wrong.
We nearly had the wrong guy winning the match.
Nearly had Roosh, nearly had Roosh. My first thought was that fucking pesky Roosh is trying to make sure he looks strong again. Roosh is at the backstage patter.
I was cracking up at that one.
Aye, it was fucking mental. Absolutely mental. A private party, bloody.
Oh, and Matt Hardy.
Realigning with Matt Hardy out of nowhere. So I was like, what?
I don't know if that's a face turn for them or a heel turn for Matt or neither. I don't know. I had no idea what was going on there.
Me neither.
I kind of they've been doing stuff with him on being the elite.
Aye, where he's being nice to them and all that and saying sorry. Aye.
But how that's came into like the telly product so quick, I don't makes very much sense.
Aye. One of AEW's downsides is they assume you're consuming everything effectively.
Aye.
Just lastly, one thing I will say about this last few weeks as a show for AEW, what's good to see is no one person is bigger than the company as far as impact goes. Like, They've had 6 solid weeks now, I think, of over 1 million viewers. Probably their best average viewership over a month for a long time. And this is without several wrestlers who have been suspended.
Yep.
And one who's left because he fancied going back to WWE out of nowhere. It's a good sign for the future of AEW. It's a very good sign.
That is aye.
And hopefully it continues. It's interesting to see where the Elite go back in after this. CM Punk, I'm assuming, is done altogether.
I mean,
It's looking more and more likely like he's not coming back, but time will tell. We've got a long way to go, I think, still.
Christ, aye. There's a hell of a long way to go before any of that comes out, as it were. Oh, Christ. Any last wee thing before we
two final things if we can. Okay, we're struggling for time a wee bit now, but Sammy Guevara, Eddie Kingston, tremendous, loved it.
Loved it.
Loved it, man.
Again,
Kingston
mad sports entertainment ending.
Aye, the ending's no great, but it works for the characters. You know what I mean?
Aye, I can appreciate it.
It gets over because of who's doing it and stuff. So, and it's another wee kind of feather in the cap of the character building with Eddie Kingston, and he's constantly getting in his own way, you know, that sort of stuff. So, at some point in time, they've got to pull the trigger on him, and either he goes down the road of puts his shit together, a la Hangman, finally sold himself out, going on to become champion, or it all unravels and becomes a tremendous heel, and he just hates everybody because he can't get out
a proper Mad King. Yeah,
Mad King. There you go. Right, so either way, amazing. I love Eddie Kingston. The other thing, the final thing, it's been announced for next week that it's John Moxley versus Juice Robinson, and a title elimination match.
Aye, I seen that.
What in the actual fuck are they doing?
Aye.
With that.
That's what
right now. A small bit of context. They've had a match this year already, so it's a bit of a rematch. I believe Juice Robinson won that match. I think he's one of the few guys to beat Mox this year. So there's story there, but Mox has just won the title. Like, he's just recrowned the champion. Why is he in an elimination match for his own title?
Exactly.
Aye, why
doesn't make any sense.
Of course, it builds up the New Japan relationship, I think, more than anything else.
But
I take it that's what that's for, but aye.
But with the story that's there between them, you could very easily do Juice Robinson versus a ton of other guys on the roster, and have it be building towards a title shot, and then at some point in time you can have him come in and challenge Moxley for the title, and then it would be because I'm sure there's
lots of other AEW wrestlers now you mentioned, Mick, that could be in title elimination matches.
So I'm all for using them, but
hey, by the way, it'll be good in ring. By the way, Juice is fucking phenomenal. Juice is really good.
Actually, I would something that would make more sense, and I would love to see it. Him and Rush. With Rush coming so close, we been in the last two, that Battle Royale. Rush and Juice is an elimination style match.
I kind of like that for the commentators to say Rush versus Juice. Juice versus Rush. It's a Rushy Juicy match.
Just imagine JR saying it.
God, he would get it all wrong.
Juice Rush.
Christ. I'll never forget that time JR said Ricky Starks wrong and called him Ricky Skaggs. That was my favourite ever. Ricky Skaggs, who is in fact the singer. It was just, he was saying it while the camera was on the commentary booth, and Tony Schiavone's just looking at the screen like he's a fucking idiot. It is, if you can ever get a hold of it, it's the greatest bit of telly ever. Because you've also got Taz at the time going, it's Ricky Starks, JR, Starks. Ain't no Ricky Skaggs. Fucking awesome. Oh, great. Last wee hang before we go, Harvey, mate. Anything you want to add?
No.
You all good?
Oh, no, I had the same question as Michael. What's going on with this Juice Robinson and
the Juice nonsense?
Mox?
Aye.
Actually, I've got.
It's not nonsense because of Juice. It's nonsense because Moxley's the champion in a title elimination match for said championship.
It's also nonsense because I just noticed I had written this down and I'd forgot about it. It's also nonsense because we now have two number one contenders as it is. So why do we need any elimination matches to find me?
So why create a third?
Why?
Very good point. It's a very good point. Oh, good. Right. Well, lads, as always, we've just about overstayed our welcome. Probably have to an extent for a couple of minutes. We better get our arses out of here. Tomorrow, there'll be another podcast. It won't be a Moto Mash. F1's still in their wee mid-season break. Harvey Smith, what the fuck are we talking about tomorrow, man?
Soccer.
Soccer. We're talking about soccer. Football patter. There was an international week, so we have got plenty to chew over as far as that goes. See you then. Ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. Bye-bye.
Bye, driver.
Once again.
Peace.
All right, partner. Keep on rolling, baby. You know it.
Keep on rolling.
Can we just have this the intro of the podcast this week? I kind of want all this left in.